If I was a Buffalo Sabres fan, I don't really know if I would want my management to make almost any moves. You know, I would just want to clear out the management completely and just get some new vision in that franchise. Because the Buffalo Sabres do have like a number of very talented players individually, and there's things that the Buffalo Sabres do quite well. They score goals. I think they were like top 10 in scoring this year. And they have a number of good players, Owen Power and I think Rasmus Dahlin is a hell of a player. I personally did not like the Dylan Cousins trade for them. I didn't mind them trading Dylan Cousins. I just don't think that they got fair value for him in Norris. My guess for this season is that the Buffalo Sabres are going to make a number of very, very questionable moves. They had a bad season, but they had some good parts of it. They don't have a complete train wreck of a team. And I'm just very, very worried about their fans this season. Now, I will be clear, though, if you are another team that does not care about the Buffalo Sabres at all, you can really vulture this team like crazy. And it looks to me like this is what's happening. We have some pretty big rumors between the Calgary Flames and the Buffalo Sabres. And it surrounds the Calgary Flames have been in touch with the Buffalo Sabres on JJ Peterka. And listen, I'm a JJ Peterka truther. I think he's actually like a really, really, really good player. Let's remember, this player is only 23 years old. And he's a legitimate goal scorer. This guy scored 28 goals, 27 goals, was close to around not point per game, but close to it. And he's only 23. Imagine what this guy's going to be in his prime, 25, 26, 27. And you might say to yourself, well, why are the Buffalo Sabres trading a player that produced and was actually really good for them? The answer to that is really simple. JJ Peterka doesn't want to be there anymore, okay? There was massive rumors around the Buffalo Sabres that there was just a number of players that don't want to be there, and JJ Peterka, I'm pretty sure, is one of them. And at the end of the day, if a player just doesn't want to be there, it can get really, really toxic, and that's what's happening here. When I look at JJ Peterka, I think that he is going to be I think a point per game player in his prime. That's what I think it is. And obviously it's really, really unfortunate for Buffalo Sabres fans to see a player like that. It just feels like this organization can never get anything right. Now, I want to be crystal clear that I don't think that the Buffalo Sabres are just going to give this player up, right? They're going to want something legit. And if you want JJ Peterka, you are going to have to pay up 100%. So would they look at Zane Parekh, something like that? That is probably, I would say, the top prospect in the Calgary Flames organization. And you're going to have to pay up something like that to get, I think, a top-line winger in Peterka. As I always say, you have to give something to get something. Now, it is kind of interesting, though, that I might end up being wrong. I just might end up being wrong where perhaps the Buffalo Sabres just don't really get a lot for him at all because he is a disgruntled player. Now, the one thing that I would like to remind is that he is a restricted free agent, so the Buffalo Sabres don't really have to trade him, but it depends on how disgruntled this player really is. Is this a player that wants to go really far, that will even refuse to show up to training camp or something like that? I'm not really sure how bad it has gotten. Only the Buffalo Sabres management really knows. Because again, a lot of insiders have mentioned that Peterka is unhappy, and situations like that can get really, really complex. I mean, let's be clear, when it comes to the Buffalo Sabres, they drafted Peterka in the second round, I believe 34th overall. That was just a really, really good draft pick by them. I mean, it's probably a little bit lucky to get him in the second round. He probably should have gotten a lot earlier than that, but, drafting after the top 10 is incredibly random. Okay, so question of the video. If you want to get Peterka, whatever team that you cheer for, what do you think is fair value, and what do you think is fair value for the Flames to give up? I think it has to be Zane Parekh. I think that is the bare minimum that they want. Because remember, you're getting a frontline winger. I think Peterka has absolutely proven himself that he is a legitimate frontline winger. And if you're a frontline winger and you're that young, that's just probably what you're going to be. I mean, if you're already scoring, almost a point per game right now, that is very promising for the future. You know, let's not forget that the Calgary Flames also have, I believe, 2 draft picks in the first round. They could actually use a lot of assets to just entice the Buffalo Sabres by almost overpaying for him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually okay with that if they can get a solidified top line winger. That would be my perspective on it. Because, listen, at the end of the day, you just have to acquire talent if you want to rebuild. Calgary does have some issues attracting talent, through the free agent market. So it's no stranger to see why they're going in not unrestricted free agency, in the trade market and the draft. That's just how they're going to build their team. And the Buffalo Sabres, it's the same story. Like, there's a certain way that they can attract free agents. Some places have an easier time, Vegas and Florida and all these places that players love to go, and it's always going to be that way. I would personally love to see Peterka play with somebody like Nazem Kadri. It's funny, even people are talking about now that Kadri might be traded from Calgary. First off, that's not going to happen. Okay, he's not getting traded. Teams are desperate for centers. They would be absolutely insane to trade Kadri. I don't care if he's older. I don't care about his contract. Centers, at least lately in the NHL, don't exist. So they should be holding on to Nazem Kadri all that they can. And just to finish off this video, I wanted to ask Buffalo Sabres fans that are watching this specifically, what do you guys think is the right move for your team? Do you agree with my analysis that I think that they need to have new management in Buffalo? I think they need a whole new set of eyes and just figure this out, because every single year they're not making the playoffs. I just really haven't liked some of their moves, especially the Dylan Cousins trade, in my opinion. Like I said, I wasn't against trading Dylan Cousins. I was kind of just against like what they got. Fundamentally, I just didn't think it was that good. Anyways, I am going to end this video here. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that, guys. And make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.